Yeah. But he worked with the right brothers on the 2 years before they flew in 1901, 1902.
Yes, they read his book and invited him because he's living in Paris or living in France somewhere. And I went to Canada, it was about 2 years ago, it was the biggest drop down you've ever seen. All there was a room about this big. Two replicas, some photographs around it.
I'm not going to break my camera on you, Mush.
That's the battery, isn't it? That's the thing with all these. Getting the weight down on the battery.
It is, that's right, yeah.
Yes, that's it. That's it.
It's just like airframe.
Well, I say, I mean,
Thanks very much.
Yeah.
I've been up to
well, that's the process, right?
Aldridge, took me up to Frosted, so it's not Sorry, and we went to Sal's. There's no wind.
That's why you're massive, you know, it sounds slow.
You want to look at our website, look at the photograph and that's
gluing it back on, but never mind. Yeah, it's if I don't know if you can see through the wing. There's one spar in there. That's all. No spars in there. Nothing to speak of inside here. They're hollow as well. They're hollow. This is all hollow. The fuselage is hollow and horrendously squishy. You know, you can just squish it in. And of course, it's got dents and bumps and everything already, just from looking at it, you know, let alone flying it. It uses a 3-cell pack like that, which just goes in onto your Velcro there, okay, and then just check that the switch is off.
Is that lightweight Velcro?
Yeah. Velcro is one of those things like double-sided tape. It never works properly, you know. Double-sided tape and I don't get on very well. You know, why I actually damaged it, I didn't have a method of holding the hatch other than the pour method that it comes with, which is that bit at one end and a little tiny springy thing at the other end. And I had this on and the battery came loose and the hatch was sagging in the middle. So I brought it in to land it and that's when I whipped the nose off. Right, okay. This is one of those weird speed controllers where you have to have absolute faith in electronics because you have to put it onto full throttle when you switch on.
Fly mode 1. Fly mode 1, do you?
Yeah. You can now put it back to low throttle. Right. And the snag is, I wish they'd either all do that or none of them would do it, because if you have a selection of models with different speed controllers, they're all different. And with these, to cut the brake, you have to start in full throttle and then pull it back. You know, if you don't do that, you put the brake on. And in a lot of circumstances, you don't want a brake on the motor. So, with anything like this for flying indoors, you obviously have got ridiculous amounts of movement, this sort of amount of movement, and that's on that sort of movement. and also on the tail, you've got that for doing knife edging and things. And the brushless motor, Outrunner, as I say, is quite powerful. And about half power, it's about 2-to-1 ratio, so that hovers on about half power. You know, on about half power, you're up and away. You know.
Oh, let it go.
Don't punch it off.
And I don't think there's any wind outside.
So you can see the front. Right, the thing is with the collective pitch is that you can get the head speed much faster because of course you can adjust the angles of the blades. If you're in fixed pitch you can't do anything, so you control all your height and everything through the motor speed. Here you can mix your motor speed and your pitch, so if you want it to be ultra stable, which I do because I tend to fly it in very small spaces, if you want it to be ultra stable you can have a nice high head speed which makes it stable, obviously. So we've got quite a high head speed on there, you see, so that it's nice and nimble. not so easy to see against the carpet, I have to say. But fast head speed, as you can see, holds it very, very steady, which is very useful in small spaces. The nice thing with the collective as well is that you can land it nicely because you've got really, full control. There's no excuses for bad landing. If I had a bit more room, I'd do some circuits and things, but you were always conscious that things can go wrong. The blades don't come off very often, but you can have...
Now he tells us.
You just learn with helicopters that never trust them. I take off at tables and land on tables and do all sorts of stuff, in certain circumstances. But you do have to just be a bit conscious that they are going about 2,000 RPM, those blades, and if it slipped off sideways, it would not do a lot of good, The snag with the collective is that you can break the boom very easily. You don't do that with the fixed pitch in the same way. If something goes wrong and you immediately shut the power down, which of course you shouldn't do with a helicopter, you should open it up. But in here you'd go through the roof, so that wouldn't be much help. If you shut the power down immediately, you land very heavily, and what happens, the blades bend back and they cut the boom exactly there. Now that boom has actually been cut and mended 4 times. The blades, I've just had to put new blades on because when the blades cut the boom, they also damage themselves, and eventually you get vibration creeping in and so on. So you have got to be sensible with helicopters, but they are fascinating, and as I say, a lot of guys in our club are flying them now. One of those things, flying helicopter, I don't know if we've got any helicopter people here, but it's one of those things, it's a bit like probably your first time out on skis on your own, there's no one to help you, and it's very difficult to help people, to describe to them how to do it, you know what I mean? You can get you perhaps get a glider up or something, you pass someone a tranny and say, have a go, and you're reasonably happy, but you just can't do anything like that with a helicopter. So it's very much you've got to do it yourself. And
the buddy box works.
Yes, the buddy. I'll tell you 2 things. The buddy box works, and the simulator is brilliant because it's harder to fly a helicopter on a simulator, definitely, than it is to fly a helicopter. If you can fly one, I can fly this nose in for a limited period, and all of that has come really through using the simulator. And flying circuits and things, getting used to nosing everything reverse, which is obviously a little bit of a skill unto itself. But it's just very hard to teach people because what you have to say to them is you can't leave it alone. You've got to be telling it something all the time. Even though it looks happy there, tell it something, because otherwise it'll suddenly decide it wants to go off that way or that way. So you're constantly telling it to go right, left, keep like that. Having said that, I can trim this out so I could literally let go for a second or 2, so it isn't that bad. But when you're learning, it seems the thing is alive and determined to get you, But But they are fascinating things.
What's the little paddles on top of the rotor?
That's the fly bar, and that is basically what does most of your controlling. That tips the blade over. Through altering the angle of that, you're in effect making the whole head tip. I mean, early full-size helicopters like the Bells actually had fly bars on them, and then they dispensed with them. What nobody's really got into on this size is 3, 4, more blades. It just isn't necessary. It's just a complication, really. I mean, you could do it, but it's just a complication. They don't like the ground effect, obviously, and they get light quite quickly. About a metre, you're out of ground effect, about there, and you can start to be more stable. Below that, you do get the ground effect, pushing it around a little bit. That will fly for about 20 minutes on that lithium pack. So, one down, let's try something else.
Don't worry, we're insured for the damage.
Actually, I've just got an A with the helicopter because I did think, because I go around showing it, might be an idea to get a certificate. So, and there was a little bit of controversy there because, of course, the BMFA schedule is for an IC helicopter. There isn't one specifically for an electric helicopter, but you've got to assume that the guy who's flying electric might then go out and buy a 90-powered IC one. So, it's a little bit... Right, you can hear those buzzing, which they do, look. There's the movement available. You notice very big rudder, so I don't have to move it very much to get an effect. And tail there, and motor... Okay, we'll try to fly it anyway. Just keep your heads down if it comes near. Right?
Get ready to dodge.
This is my table landing one, so hopefully we'll be all right.
Phil will catch it for you.
Not enough power. Let's have more power.
The MFA rules require that you don't fly within 30 metres of somebody.
Right, we won't fly that then. Whoops. Catch it. Again. I think that warp in the wing is actually giving me a bit of trouble there.
We'll try it the other way around.
Yeah.
I think so. I think we were breathing. That was the trouble.
Yeah.
Will it do a rolling circle?
No. It's causing me to stall a lot, isn't it? Try once more, but if it comes near you, catch it. That's the best advice. Ooh, that's horrible, that. No, it's sticking, isn't it?
It's all right, Eric needs a shave.
We're not.
Modern technology.
Yeah, always lets you down. Funny thing is, the bigger ones would have been easier to fly. I looked into changing crystals, but I can't because these are a different size crystal. Right. There we are. Let's plug in and
The other indoor flyers we've had have been a couple of guys over the years have been rubber-powered flyers, free flight, and they're just...
Oh, they're gorgeous.
These are very, very quick comparatively.
Yes, I know. Yeah.
Good grief. That's the fail-safe, is it?
See, it should be moving as easily as that on the other one, and it isn't. Right, let's try this. See if we can make this do at least one circuit before it hits anybody.
Done for dangerous flying. Oh, fantastic.
That will play for about 5 minutes or so on that.
God, I bet you can't roll it.
He wants everything this morning.
Not me.
In a room this big, do you actually need your area fully extended?
No, but it is, the gear is a little bit sensitive, so just to be on the safe side. Don't ask me to do circuits in the opposite direction. If you power up, you can actually hold it in a much tighter turn, as you can see.
I'm going to fall off this table in a minute. Absolutely incredible. Oh!
You wanted a small turn. Of course, what we haven't had yet is the landing. Landing's easy, you just catch it in your hand.
I think it's a spot landing.
Land in the box, yeah.
Touch and go?
At least once something's worked.
Okay, I bet the driver's getting
Now,
giddy.
one thing you will notice, I'm actually using a lot of throttle control on here, and that is the secret to indoor flying. 90% of the secret is throttle. More than elevator or anything else, throttle. Gets you out of trouble, gets you into trouble. Gets you out of trouble more than it gets you into trouble.
It's a long place, Mark.
Oh yes. No, I'm going to land in a second.
Coming down the...
Oh!